Hello, welcome back again to the Haw River Trail River Guide series with River Kings. Today we're doing the Lower Haw, and starting here at North Carolina 64, you see the parking and the put in there. We'll be heading down this right channel through Lunch Stop Rapid, slipping over to the left of the main channel to go through Ocean Boulevard, which is that long stretch there, and then skipping 3 Foot Falls as there's not quite enough current, through Gabriel's Bend. Then you have Moose Jaw Falls, the Slot, the Maze, and we'll take Harold's Tombstone on the left, going all the way down the left channel to the lake. Today's level is 846 cubic feet per second, and the minimal is currently listed as 1,000 cubic feet per second. Used to be 400, but there's been some dispute. At 1,000, I guess it's a lot less scrapey. At 846 today, a little bit scrapey, not too bad. 400 would be a little low. You could still get down it, but it wouldn't be as pleasurable as higher flows. Up above 2,500, it starts getting pretty juicy. 2,500 CFS and above, you really need to know what you're doing, have all the right gear, protective gear, life jacket, helmet, that sort of thing. Above that, you're getting into some pretty beefy water, so just know that. A lot of people do get rescued off this stretch that aren't quite prepared to be out there. But at today's level, it's pretty low, not a whole lot of push. You can pretty much see the bottom of the river in most places, so there's no real chance of getting in major trouble at this level. So here we are putting in, joined by my friend Keith Cagle again today. This is his second time in a boat ever, so he's doing fantastic. There may or may not be some footage of a wet Keith Cagle coming up in the future. We'll just have to wait and see there. Here we are entering Lunch Stop Rapid, and you kind of want to take this rapid a little left of center to begin, and then pretty far left of the channel is where you're going to go through here. At this low, you really don't have an option. At higher flows, there will be a lot more options and a lot more turbulent water. So you kind of come over here, pick this little slot out, drive it there, get right through there. No issues. If you don't drive some of these rapids, meaning if you don't pick your line and force your kayak through it, it's probably going to broach. You'll be sideways in a second and swimming through the rest of the rapid. Not the most advantageous way of doing that. So in this kind of water and higher flows, you're going to want to pick your line and force your kayak through there. That's something Keith's working on today. And you want to do that by staying slow as you approach the rapid. That gives you a chance to affect your path by adding strokes in later as you speed up in the rapid. If you're already at top speed when you enter the rapid, the only real effective way to change how you're doing things is to put a backstroke or a slow down stroke, and then you lose your effective control of the boat in a lot of cases. Sometimes it's what you need to do, but you want to come into rapid slow, leaving you the ability to power through certain spots by some well-placed forward strokes. And just following Lunch Stop Rapid, you want to get left out into the main channel, and here we are in Ocean Boulevard. And this is just a pretty good stretch of what we call boogie water in the whitewater world, meaning it's just a bunch of little wave trains and fun little places to go through. At higher waters, there are some wave pockets that'll form, and a lot of play boaters will come down here, and especially on the tail end of this stretch, find little pockets to surf and play in with their play boats. At this level, again today, it's perfect for Keith to take it up a little step. He's getting ready for a big trip we're going to do in June. And so we're kind of getting him on the quick pace development program to get ready for this trip. So he's out here today. This stretch of river really needs to be run at about 2,500 or above with some camera to give a good representation of what it's really all about. But at this level, it's enough to get down there, have a little fun, get another notch on a Keith's belt. And for those of you who've never tried it, this would be a good level. If you're familiar and comfortable with the sections above, you could handle this. And as you see, I'm just kind of keeping the boat pointed straight, Nothing really to give you any trouble. You're just a long stretch of boogie water here. And we're kind of coming to the end of Ocean Boulevard, and that knob or the terrain on the hillside on the right you see, that is Gabriel's Bend up against that bank there. And sometimes when the water's higher, you could go straight where the boat's pointing now, and that will be 3-foot falls. But at this level of 846 cubic feet per second, there's not enough water to make that a good run for you. You're gonna bang and scrape down there. So we're gonna go left here and just follow the current like we've been learning on all the other stretches of river. You get into some boulder gardens or some braid, watch the water, see what the water's doing, and follow it, because that's going to be your route to get through. And I'm just looking down at 3-foot falls to see if it's even feasible, and it's not. So I'm backing up. We're gonna follow this current out, and today we're gonna go around, make a little horseshoe here, and get right back to river right after this little rapid to catch Gabriel's Bend. You don't want to miss that. There's a significant ledge in the center of the river, dead ahead where my kayak's pointing now. At this flow, it would be just a big scrape fest. At higher flow, I've done it, can be pretty exciting. But Gabriel's Bend is the signature rapid on this run. You don't want to miss it. It's kind of the reason a lot of people come down here. Here we are scraping through a little bit. Just to the right of where I went would have been a little better. Unfortunately, I saw that when it was too late. I look back upstream there, just before Gabriel's Bend. And we're on the river right here. And you want to stay in the far, far right channel as you approach this bluff up there with the pine trees on it. Far right will be Gabriel's Bend. And here you are. You want to kind of come into this just to the right of those boulders. At this level they're visible, at higher flows they may not be. But as you come through here, slightly left of center is the well-known preferred route. So I'm laying up just a little left of center. And then just pick your route and bop through these nice waves. At this level there's not a whole lot of boulder action to worry about. All these waves get bigger as the water gets bigger. Just keep it pointed downstream and keep following the current and you'll be fine. This area I'm in now and just below is where the big play wave is at the bottom. A lot of people like to stop and play in that with their whitewater boats. So just drive over a couple of these spots, follow this current out to the left, and there's a look at that ledge I was talking about a minute ago. I'll cut it upstream to catch Keith coming down through here. Doing pretty good. Not much to it at this level. Just keep your nose pointed straight, keep your paddle in the water, and keep paying attention. Another look at that ledge. Right there is a good place to come over if you decide to go that route or if you miss Gabriel's Bend. Some pretty manky spots. There'll be a lot of piton potential, and that is where the front of your boat just T-bones a rock. It can be a dangerous situation. Just be aware that's all waiting for you if you miss Gabriel's Bend. So we did not go over Moose Jaw Falls on the right, the Slot, or the Maze. We're going to go through Harold's Tombstone on the far left here. It's going to be a better option today. And there's a tree there on the river left as you come through this channel. Always keep that in mind. Don't get in the trees. Nice little rapid. Go ahead and start cutting right just after this boulder, and then drive it right there, get through that slot, and then I'll cut it back upstream to watch Keith. And Keith again is working on driving the boat. So as you see, he's got a paddle in the water, which is good, but he's not really making the boat go where he wants it to go. Edging is looking good. He gets it back under control now and then pulls it around right. For the second day in a boat, he's doing fantastic. Hope he doesn't mind using him for some learning points for others, but he's doing great. Moving on down the river, just pick your slots in these channels. Watch out for wood. As you see, that tree just ahead could pose a significant hazard at higher flows. If you came into that sideways, you would definitely be in trouble. At this flow though, even if you did broach, you would be able to work yourself out of that without too much trouble. So from here on out to the lake, we're just going to be trying to pick a route that we can get through without scraping too bad, that has sufficient water. The maze, which is the center of the river, is not going to be your best bet at this level. So at this level, the far left channel, starting at Harold's Tombstone on down the far left, is pretty much your best bet. Just read the water, see where you can get through the rapids without scraping, and get on down. There's not a whole lot of consequential rapids. At this point down, just kind of picking a route, drive in some areas like that, and you look good. Again, my boat does not have a keel on it, and with this kind of level of white water, that's going to be a big advantage to you. If you came through this route in, say, a tsunami or that kind of boat, you're going to have a lot harder time maneuvering with this kind of current and this kind of tight creaking environment. It's a little more technical than some of the other runs because of the boulders and the nature of the river. A lot more drop than the sections above. That being said, you can still get down here with a canoe or a longer boat. It's just going to be a lot more work involved. At higher flows, I would strictly advise against bringing a long boat with the keel down this particular run. And pretty much we're down to the lake now. And again, we're in the far left channel, this route. So what we're going to need to do is paddle on out to the lake, start hanging right. As you see at the end of the boats, there's a couple islands. You want to get to the far channel and then head back upstream. It's going to be the widest of the channels. And then paddle up and then to the left, and there's the Takeout with a fancy little boat ramp with some rollers. On this lap, Squirrel's going to lead himself down, and I'm not giving any advice. He's seen the river once on this stretch, and he's going to try to pick his own route, and this is very beneficial when learning how to paddle. As you see though, paddling the water, he's not driving his boat through the rapid and he's washing into stuff like that, forcing himself to correct, versus driving it where you want it to go. And that's going to be the next thing he works on more and more, and we talked about it after the run. Bear in mind, it's the second day he's ever sat in a boat, so not really a lot of criticism you can give to a man. But just as a learning point, when you get into white water, the boat's not going to go where you want it to go. You got to make the boat go that way. Here we are in Ocean Boulevard. He does a lot better here, naturally, because there's no technical aspect to this little system here. Just wave trains and boogie water, which makes Nantahala such a desirable first whitewater run for so many, because it's just several miles of boogie water for the most part. So as you see, he's picking a good line, just riding the wave trains out. Nothing much to see. Keeping his paddle moving, keeping his paddles in the water, that's good. So we finished up Ocean Boulevard, then we took the little right-handed horseshoe around 3 Foot Falls, and now we're getting back river right and entering Gabriel's Bend again. And let's see how he does through here. A little right of center, you wouldn't want to be there at higher flows. Really doesn't matter at this level. You can see he's kind of edging, a little bit heavy. That's fine. At least his hips are loose. What you don't want to see is a real stiff paddler. Keep your hips loose. If it edges up on one side or the other, that's okay. You're still in control. He's been doing really good at that. Keeping the paddle moving through the water, picking his route. And here it gets a little technical. Let's see how he handles this. As you see, when he hits a big boulder, it's not the end of the world for him. He just knows to start immediately leaning downstream. And that's a very good habit to be in. And wanting to go the different route, he opts to go through the maze here, which is a giant boulder garden with no really good easy discernible channels at this level. Even at higher flows, it can be hard to pick a route. Keith is pretty adventurous, and here I give him some room to do what he's doing, and I kind of go back in this channel backwards. Kind of go with it to scout below the ledge here. About now, I don't like what I see as far as a route getting through, so I kind of paddle back up and unfortunately missed the best footage of the day that would really make this fantastic. Oh yeah, the first swim of a paddler. Nothing's as sweet as the first swim. So he's got that out of the way, and we use this as an example to show you how to get water out of your boat. So you want to push the nose up on a rock, just kind of get the nose out of the water, then turn the boat upside down, get the water out of the cockpit. When most of it's out, you turn the boat completely upside down, and then you rock it back and forth, lower and higher, finish dumping all the water out. And then a quick lift and flip over on its belly and you're good to go. My boat has a bulkhead. Both these boats have bulkheads in the front and the back, so the nose and the stern do not fill up with water, leaving only the cockpit. And here we are, end of the run. Show you this fancy little ramp here, just kind of get your nose on there. It's almost like a handicap ramp for paddlers. It's a pretty cool little thing. And there you have it. That's 64 to Robeson Creek, Jordan Lake, or the Lower Haw. Thanks for watching. Okay, so we just finished the Lower Haw, and as you can see, my quick dry is pretty dry. There's a couple spots on my sleeve where it's a little moist. Keith also is wearing some quick dry, but his quick dry is in the act of drying. He made kind of a bad decision. I guess one spot he was kind of leading himself down the river, and I mean, he almost had it, but he didn't. The river got him. So how do you feel, Keith?
Good.
Feels good.
Yeah.
You got that over with. I mean, it was a solid Class 1 plus rapid, though. I mean, he really, the kind of thing to get anybody, but I mean, just a boat eater, really. Just grabbed his boat and almost ripped it in half. I saw the seams almost pop the top of the boat off, but it really